This will be my second take doing this video, but I want to send my strongest and best respects to one, if not one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of the WWF. Not only WWF, WWE, whatnot, but in wrestling in general. A man who stayed dedicated to his craft, who stayed dedicated to the company he worked for, and also someone, if you've not been able to see trending or anything dealing with wrestling, you would know that he's been around the block everywhere. I want to thank MNC 122703. Brother, I'm gonna try to sit there and get in contact with you and talk to you about some things, man. Just in general about doing stuff with whatever we want to do. Kind of going back and forth in my head about different things about gaming and all that shit. But 30 years, man. 30 years. 30 years of being, for me, a part of my childhood. I'm 38. So when I first really saw The Undertaker and really just got into The Undertaker's character, it was when I was around 8 years old. I actually remember when he debuted in 1990, Survivor Series. I didn't know anything about Mean Mark Calloway. I didn't watch WCW at that point. I think I ain't really started watching WCW until like 2 or 3 years after like 1990. But the one thing I will say about his character, his longevity, is people got to realize something. For me, I started watching wrestling, I think around like 86, 87, give or take. And I watched wrestling in the golden age with, oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage, yeah. What you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania runs wild on you? Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. You know. And of course, the new generation. Many people didn't watch it like that. I did. I think I had a probably sleep period around 94, which actually I shouldn't have, because there was some really good shit going on in 94. WrestleMania 10 with Owen Hart versus Bret Hart, brother versus brother. Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, and Larry Max's and all that. But the Attitude Era, of course. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the toughest son bitch, son. And you know, you name it. And then the Ruthless Aggression Era, where you dealing with John Cena. You can't see me. And you know. And of course, recently. Now, whatever reality, I don't know what era this is. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that in all those eras of wrestling, you have to look at the fact that The Undertaker was right there. He was right there in every one of them. And Chris Jericho said in his video I saw on his channel that he said he's like the Madonna, just like him. He's like the Madonna. He morphed and changed as time went on, which is so true. I remember when, I think it was in 2000, early 2000, like 99, 2000, really it was 2000, and Undertaker debuted as the American Badass. And I was like, wait a minute, whoa. It took me right, whoa, wait, hold up, wait a minute. And I saw that this was actually a transition period. If you think about the Undertaker character in general, it should have never worked. The character should have never worked. They wanted to be too gimmicky. I mean, of course, we know Undertaker, funeral parlor, you know, this and that. But the character, if anybody else did that character, I don't think it would have worked. Mark Calloway, the man who brought that character to life, see, weird to say Undertaker and to life, but brought that character to life, put a lot of himself in that character. And when people think about the Undertaker, to sit there and take that fact that this man brought that to the masses. When you think about the matches, the history, the way his character transcended, you have to respect it. I don't give a damn if you are a wrestling fan, casual, or not even a wrestling fan anyway. You know in some way who the fuck the Undertaker is because his character is there. The full effect of what the Undertaker's character is in there. I like I said, I saw the Survivor Series. But basically WWE's been doing the commemoration of his whole career, and I bump heads with WWE about some of the things they do, but I respect them for what they did for this particular person, this particular wrestler, because the Undertaker deserved it. The man gave his blood, sweat. When people say blood, sweat, and tears, no, he legit did that shit. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I just recently, last 3 or 4 days, been fucking struggling with my fucking hip. Hurting, pain, this and that. Starting to feel a little bit better. This man had 2 hip replacements and wrestled at WrestleMania. And when people sit there and say, oh man, the Undertaker's lost a step. Could you fucking go into a wrestling ring, take bumps, and do the shit he was doing? Give me a fucking break. Be real with yourself. What I'm trying to say is that there will never be another Undertaker. And this is coming from somebody that was a huge Hulkamaniac, a huge Warrior fan, a huge Steve Austin fan. And I'm still a huge Steve Austin fan. I'm still a huge Rock. But the thing about it is, through all that shit, the Undertaker was in there. The Undertaker was still one of my wrestlers that I enjoy watching. From the mannerisms, when you look at the stuff he did in his early career, even on now, when you sit there and see him stare at that evil look, when he'll speak, rest in peace. And those eyes go to the back of his head. And then you sit there and see how he would rise up. You knew it was on. You knew it was on. I remember when he won his first WWF title against Hulk Hogan. I sat there and said to myself, dude, this man is fucking crazy. Hulk Hogan was immortal. He was like shaking and doing all this stuff. Hogan went for his finisher. Undertaker shrugged it off and rose back up. Hogan was like, what the fuck I'm gonna do? The inside of this, when they talk about mind games and how you play with the wrestlers and the fans, I mean, I'm one of them. I soaked it up like a sponge. And you think about the rivalries he had with Hogan, Flair. Hell, he had a match against The Undertaker. SummerSlam 94. He fought himself. Although it was his buddy Brian Lee. But it looked good. I mean, when I remember that little brief end, I remember that part back in 94. I thought, that's the Undertaker, right? Yeah, that's the Undertaker. Then all of a sudden, the real Undertaker started like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Brain explodes. Look at Highway to Hell, SummerSlam, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker. Huge build, AC/DC. All the stuff going on with that. Then you sit there and think about the stuff he did later with Kane and then this and this, that, and everything in between. Man, think about all the shit that you could say, man, The Undertaker was there. The Undertaker did it, man. And respect is due. Is respect due? Yes. And I want to just say, Mark Calloway, respect, brother. You've been a part of my childhood as well as teen years, adult years, and all that in between, man. The Undertaker, one of the top, if I don't say it once again. And I see people like, I'm going to be honest with you. If you look at my channel, go back to one of my earliest videos, like maybe one of my first videos where I did Undertaker's Eyes. And believe it or not, how to Undertaker's Eyes or whatever I did on it. It's one of my highest viewed videos on this fucking channel. 200, it's 250,000 views, I know that. And I feel like, man, to me, just seeing The Undertaker was one of those wrestlers that he made the field of what it was to be a wrestling fan even better. Yeah, people say, oh, it's too gimmicky, oh, it's too fake, this and that, man. For those who don't understand being a wrestling fan or just having an idea of what wrestling is, I feel that I deeply have sympathy for you. Because at the end of the day, I understand one thing, and that is that wrestling been good to me. I love my wrestling. If I don't watch it as much like I used to, I still every now and then tune in. And I still keep up with some of the stats and everything in between. But the Undertaker, man, bruh, respect 100. I saw this video just now, and it kind of just made me motivated to want to do this video. Just seeing his interaction in the backstage area with even some of the current wrestlers as well as wrestlers from back in the day, and just seeing his aura. To be around a person who's been so much to you in your career, especially when you see how he's like a mentor and a teacher to the younger wrestlers, to sit there and see just the little stuff I've seen over the last couple of months of him just being out of character and just talking to different interviewers and just different things, man. It's nothing but respect. And if you're not understanding that, then I don't know what to say to you, man. But the Undertaker is the man. The Undertaker is the man. But yeah, they say GOAT a lot, but bro, he's the GOAT. But yeah, this is Jughead 82 signing off. You guys have a good one.